What is going on, guys? It is Super here, and welcome to another Mortal Kombat X Q&A video. And I haven't done one of these in a while since I went to Vegas. I had scheduled a bunch of videos, and I think I haven't done one since then or even before then, especially Injustice 1. So I don't know if you guys are going to see the Injustice 1 or MKX one first. But regardless, I love doing these Q&A videos because I just like, answering your questions. So as always, if you have your own question, make sure you guys leave it in the comments section. If I've answered it already, I'll probably reply in the comments section, or someone else will reply, saying that I've answered this already with the answer. So let's get into it. First question comes from, oh, by the way, this is my greatest comeback of all time. It's so sick. I love just watching this comeback. You guys will see what I'm talking about if you've never seen this video before. So let's get into it. Diego asks, do you think Sub-Zero will be harder for beginners now with the command grab? As a beginner, it became hard to do command grabs while going into combos. And Diego, I 100% say yes. I think the new Cryomancer Sub-Zero is a lot better than he was before, but it's definitely harder for beginners to win with him. And even for myself, I played with Cryomancer Sub-Zero the day that he was changed, just online, just for fun, and I ended up losing, a good amount of matches compared to, the matches that I was winning, just because I wasn't used to the changes yet. But that's when you go into training mode. For you guys who, even if you're beginners, you know what I mean, you already know the basics of Cryomancer Sub-Zero. So you guys should know, what to expect, what works, what doesn't. All that changes now is you have a command grab and you lose around maybe 5 to 6% of your damage. Sub-Zero still easily gets, 30, 35, 36, 37 meterless, over 40 with 1 bar, and, around 45 with 2 bars, 46, as opposed to a 52. But, incorporating the command grab and learning the tick throws, which means, if your opponent blocks an attack, let's just say a poke, that could go into a command grab. As a Cryomancer Sub-Zero player now, you have to learn those, because once you do that, especially the back 3 tick throw, it's gonna make your opponent so afraid, and they're gonna be trying to jump out of the command grab. That's when the back 3 into overhead hammer hits, or they're expecting the 2 back 3s, and then you get them with the tick throw, and you could go into a 1 bar combo that leads you 30% off a command grab. You could just get the 13 from the command grab. The offense opens up so much more with the new Cryomancer Sub-Zero. But to answer your question, yes, I think it definitely is not a variation that I would recommend to a beginner anymore, even though it's still pretty simple. It still has the 50-50 element, like the straight up 50-50. You don't even need to use the command grab. You can go 50-50, back 3, overhead, all that still works. But if you want to maximize his potential, I would definitely not recommend him for beginners anymore. It will probably be like Ninjutsu Scorpion. So moving on here, Joseph asks, hey, I got a question. So you know how to use every character, if not great, then really well. How do you do that? Because when I try to learn a certain character, I can't seem to find setups. I need some advice. Please help. So Joseph, it's kind of a simple answer, but not at the same time, because it does take work. I just didn't pick up a character all of a sudden and then be amazingly good with him. It takes practice, a lot of time in training mode to learn the bread and butter combos, so you get used to the muscle memory for all the combos. It also takes I guess studying, because what I do when I want to learn a new character is I watch someone who's really good with that character and learn from them. If it's not in a tournament, maybe it's just some random YouTube videos that I search up, and that's how I learn a new character. But especially now, it's very easy for me to learn a new character, just because I've been playing Mortal Kombat X since it came out, you know what I mean? So someone who might have just picked up the game with Mortal Kombat XL might be a little bit different, and it might take longer for you to learn a character, but you will learn it. You might lose a lot of matches first, and that's when you go into player matches and you just have sets with people. You know, you don't want to go into ranked with your new character. I would definitely recommend some player matches because it's more of a casual thing. You know, people aren't using their main characters, they're trying to learn characters, and in player matches is where I learned the majority of the new characters that I try to learn, you know, because people are just playing for fun. You get to play sets with them, and you know, definitely one thing I will say is spend time in training mode. I know a lot of people just want to go into online and try to do well, but I spend 75% of my Mortal Kombat X time, even from the beginning of MKX back in April of 2015. 75% of my time is spent in training mode, and then the other percentage is spent playing online. That's how much training mode I like to spend time in training mode, just learning the combos, learning the setups, and learning my footsies, my spacing with the characters, the frame data. It does take you know, some studying to actually learn a bunch of characters. You know, so hope that answers your question. Definitely watch some people who know how to play with the character you're trying to learn, and spend a lot of time in training mode. Moving on here, Rozo asks, what is your worst fear or your biggest fear? Well, I don't really have like a fear of things too much. The only thing that I would probably say that I would be scared of is spiders, you know, because what sane person wouldn't be afraid of spiders? You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I know there's people who like spiders, but I wouldn't call my fear of spiders arachnophobia or anything like that, but they just creep me out, you know what I mean? Not really like the house spiders, like the daddy long legs or whatever the hell they're called. We call it, like, me and my brother call them that. I don't know if that's the technical term for them, but like, I would never be able to hold a tarantula or something like that, you know. Those just creep me the fuck out. So that's like the closest thing that I would, you know, definitely say. Oh, one thing, when I was going to Vegas, I was actually a little bit concerned because there had been many accidents of drunk driving and stuff, and you know, I was just a little bit afraid of that. You know, that was in the back of my head when my friends and I were driving. You know, I have amazing friends, really good drivers, responsible drivers. We never you know, drive while drunk. That's why they fucking invented Ubers and taxis and Lyfts. You know, never drink and drive, guys. Never do it. But I wasn't afraid of us doing that, but I was afraid of other people maybe drunk driving and, you know, some sort of accident, and thank God nothing happened to us. But when we were getting ready to come back from Vegas, there was actually a huge accident on the freeway, on the highway that we were going to take on the way back from Vegas, in which a drunk driver hit a like barricade, and the car rolled over and it hit a woman driving in a motorcycle, and the woman went flying. You know, she ended up dying, and the car was like completely totaled. We actually saw the car while not like the accident, but we saw the car just stationary there, and the whole like front was destroyed when we were coming back. And that, like, you know, things like that kind of scare me because it wouldn't be in my control. You know, it would be someone else fucking being completely irresponsible, and then other, you know, people suffer the consequences. So that kind of like, when I went to Vegas, it kind of like was in the back of my head a little bit. So thank God nothing happened. You know, it's awesome. You know, so I guess that's pretty close as well, you know, when you take a trip and a long drive to like somewhere like Vegas and stuff. But hope that answers your question. Chaboy asks, do you think it would have been better to have Smoke, Cyrax, Sector, Cyber Sub-Zero as their own characters with variations rather than making Triborg? But if they made their own characters, they wouldn't have made Alien, Boraicho, and Leatherface. And Shaboy, I would say 100% no. I am so happy that NetherRealm is a game developing company, and you know, geniuses work at their studio, and I don't, because I would have never thought of doing some sort of thing like Triborg instead of having, you know, maybe one robot be in it. So huge props to those guys, because you know, with Triborg they were able to satisfy so many people who love the robots, including myself. And I'm so happy that Triborg is a thing, and hopefully he becomes like canon and he moves on to MK11, because it would be awesome to have, you know, all the robots in one, because it opens up roster spaces for, like you mentioned, Boraicho, Leatherface, and so on and so forth. So those guys over there are geniuses. I'm so happy they made Triborg instead of just having Sector, Cyrax, Smoke, and Cybersub as their own individual characters with variations. So moving on here, Elude Cat asks, have you ever played any solo RPG games, and if so, what are some of your favorites? I don't think I've ever played a role-playing game in my life, sadly. I'm sorry to say. Rashad asks, what console do you like playing MKX the most? I would definitely say PS4, because there's more people playing, so I don't have to be waiting, you know, 2 minutes or 3 minutes in between matches. I could just go boom, 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 match, match, match. So looks like the gameplay is done, and that's the end of the video. I went on too long with some questions, but the next Q&A video, I'll try to answer as many as I can. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.